So Academy Award winner Sean Penn teaming up with the director of Taken for an action espionage thriller might make you expect some great things. But do they deliver? I'll find out with my review of The Gunman. "8 years ago, an international operative, Jim Terrier, was part of a mercenary assassination team that took out the Minister of Mines in the Congo, allowing the country to fall into chaos. He then abruptly left the continent and the woman he loved to protect himself and his team from retribution. Now, after returning to the country as part of a humanitarian effort, Jim is hunted by mercenaries out to kill him. Forced to reconnect with his former team members, Jim begins to piece together the complex web of deceit and death, while also battling the cumulative effects of concussive brain damage. Terrier must now not only protect himself, but the woman he has loved for all these years, as the merciless and mysterious forces begin to rip away at his life in order to wipe out all those responsible for the assassination that still haunts him to this day." So this film was based on the novel The Prone Gunman by John Patrick Manchette and adapted by Pete Travis, who directed Dread, and screenwriter Don McPherson, and directed by Pierre Morel, who, like I said, directed the original Taken and did an exceptional job doing that. And having this level of talent in the film, Sean Penn, Javier Bardem, Idris Elba, trailer looked really fucking good for this movie, and just really kind of like that quality of talent, the caliber of talent attached to this thing, with that kind of good director who can really shoot a lot of good action and tell a really good story in that type of genre, really just kind of made me excited for it. I really enjoyed what I saw in the trailer, and I was hoping for more than the trailer gave me, and a little bit, because the trailer is a bit misleading for this film, that it really kind of sets up Javier Bardem, pretty much implying that he's going to be a big major role in the film, and he's probably going to be the main villain of the film, and he's going to flow through the whole story and everything, and trailer paints a bit of a different picture than the film actually gives you. In good ways, bad ways. I felt like some of the stuff in the trailer felt like maybe you're going a little bit too much in action tropes, and even though the film actually does go that way, going into the film with this expectations I got, watching a review and seeing the Rotten Tomatoes score down about 20% or so, kind of like lowered my expectations, kind of like, okay, kind of dreading the film going into it and kind of having the bar set low for me, and allowing things to actually kind of like, okay, when I watched this film and got through the whole thing, it was like, it wasn't bad. The Gunman isn't a bad film. A lot of people are just, they had their high expectations. I'll give it to everyone who really kind of put out reviews and gave it a negative mark, that they probably, like I said, saw the trailer, saw the caliber of talent involved, and just like all this other stuff, just like really had high expectations to have this be a really awesome, a remarkable, just powerful fucking thriller. Ultimately, The Gunman is just a decent type of action thriller that seems like it's not really taking advantage of a lot of the talent that it has at its disposal. And yeah, that's an entirely accurate summation of the film, but getting more in depth with this film, giving it some real credit where credit is due, that Pierre Morel, he does continue directing a very solid, competent type of action thriller. The action sequences are just solid. I enjoyed every single one of them. They're all shot very competently, very solidly, confidently. He knows how to shoot action just the right way with handheld cameras, but still maintains long takes, good solid editing, solid lighting. Just everything he does makes all the action sequences very easy to follow, very intense, very visceral in a certain way. Just like everything was well put together. I was very enjoyable when I saw these action sequences unfurl in the film, especially when you've got Sean Penn looking like a beast in this film, man. When you get a few scenes where he takes off a shirt and really see the physique he put on in this film, holy crap, this guy got jacked for this movie. You see the size of his arms in certain scenes, just like he's bursting out of t-shirts. His arms look like he's fucking Stallone. I was impressed. The man just, he put all of his physicality into the role, got himself buffed and jacked up is like, man, this guy looks fucking awesome in this movie. And you can definitely tell he is in the damn action sequences. He is throwing down with these guys. He's busting ass. He's kicking ass. I didn't know Sean Penn could kick this kind of ass, man. And it's great to see it. The guy just, he's right there, like I said, right in the thick of the physicality of his film. I really enjoyed that aspect. It was surprising. It was pleasing seeing Sean Penn just cut loose and everything. He could just really kick fucking ass in this film. He did a great job in that regard. And his acting in the film is solid. Everyone's acting in the film is on a solid level, but the material they have to work with isn't anything special or exceptional, really just any kind of hard-hitting, challenging type of stuff. It's all, extremely well within the comfort zone of what all these guys can do. It's not a remarkable type of action thriller or any kind of amazing type of murder mystery. At the end of the thing, you'll probably think, okay, this is probably a decent type of thriller that you probably would have seen on cable in like the late 90s or something like that. But the quality of the talent just makes it a reliable film that everyone's going to put in a solid performance, going to hold everything up on a good level. I thought Sean Penn's character was interesting, that he is an interesting choice for the lead of this film, because you don't really kind of see Sean Penn and think action type of guy, you know? But the original title for the novel, The Prone Gunman, kind of weaves itself very interestingly into the film, because he is more of a vulnerable character. His character of Jim Terrier, just this guy who does have vulnerabilities to him, that he has emotional vulnerabilities. We see as the film develops that he has gotten this sort of brain trauma, concussive disorder or whatnot, so he has this sort of, every time that he gets into a stressful situation or there's concussive gun blasts or something like that, everything that is much more strenuous on his physicality, it starts affecting his mind, it's affecting his brain, he starts getting headaches. This guy is very vulnerable throughout the whole film, and Sean Penn plays that extremely well. He adds that type of thing that, right, thinking like someone else who might try to fit into this type of film, an action thriller like a Liam Neeson or Bruce Willis or whoever you want to throw in there, might play the role with either too much charisma or too much badassery. Sean Penn plays the character just right in having the vulnerable qualities, but still being able to throw down, because he's a character who has these skills, being an ex-CIA operative. So he plays the role extremely well. I enjoyed a lot of the things they did with the character in those type of espionage type of moments, whatnot, where he's just trying to be evasive, and certain moments where he's just trying to use those skills to his advantage, whatnot, turn the tide, turn the tables on the various hitmen sent after him, all the mercenaries and everything. I found a lot of those moments very good and very much very reminiscent, a little bit of Taken. Just felt like this is very much Pierre Morel is really kind of the core of what he's very strongly able to do. Something that he can bring a little bit of suspense, a little bit of tension, just a lot of good stuff in that type of realm and everything. I thought Morel did a great job directing the film. Penn did a very solid job acting in it. I thought the rest of the cast, like I said, is very good. Even though, like I said, the trailer kind of paints it as maybe Javier Bardem has a very meaty and substantive and long-stretching role in the film. He really doesn't. He has maybe about half a dozen scenes, give or take, you know. His role in the film is good, but it really could have plugged anyone into this role, and they could have done just as fairly competent of a job as he does. It's just like, there's nothing here that you haven't seen him do with much more flair or a lot more substance or whatnot in other performances. Just like, it seems like Javier Bardem doing a very easy type of movie, but he still puts enough effort into it, enough charisma and everything. Stuff that I enjoy from him is still here, but just like, there's not a lot of meat on the bone for him to really kind of do anything. And eventually he's just not in the film after like the halfway point. And Idris Elba, again, another great actor, barely has any scenes in the film. He has maybe like 3 scenes in the whole film, and that's about it. There's like a lot of scenes with Ray Winstone, a lot of scenes with Mark Rylance. They're the 2 very meaty characters in the film, have a lot of great purpose to the film overall. Do solid performances. The characters are all right. Nothing fantastic, nothing spectacular, whatnot, but they still do solid performances that serve the plot and serve what the film is trying to do and everything, with the espionage stuff and all this kind of stuff, you know. It's an alright movie. I think it's alright. There's not a whole lot to say about the movie, which is the problem. It's like, it's decent. If it's something that I rented and I watched on TV, I'd probably just like, okay, that's alright film. But since this is a brand new film, I'm giving you a review. Otherwise, if it's something I picked up on the video shelf and it was like a movie from like 1998, 1997 or something like that, I probably wouldn't speak much of it afterwards. But it's a new release film. You guys want to know if you need to go see it. I think it's an okay rental. That the film has solid action, but it's not jam-packed with action. Not like Run All Night did. A lot of action sequences, a lot of tension, a lot of forward momentum going. This film has a lot of just a lot of character building in a certain way, just kind of moving the plot along through different type of mystery elements or whatnot, and everyone just does a good job in the film. It's solidly directed, solid performances, but just like not a whole lot here that you haven't seen elsewhere in other espionage or action thrillers or stuff like that. There's nothing remarkable, nothing anyone's really kind of remember that much. It's a solid movie. It's worth a rental. If you really want something that is action-packed, I would definitely still recommend Run All Night over this because it had a lot more to it. A little bit more substance with the characters and just had a lot more grit and intensity. Just had that momentum going throughout the whole film and whatnot. So, overall, The Gunman's a good film. It's an alright film. It's worth, like, if you got nothing else going on like a Friday night, a Saturday night, and you're just like, whatever, go to Redbox when it comes out, pay $1.50, rent it, you'll have a decent time. If it doesn't catch you, you can turn it off and watch something else. So it's one of those films that starts out kind of strong, kind of starts showing its weaknesses as it goes on. You kind of settle in, it's like, okay, this is okay. It's nothing great. It has a few points where it seems a little bland and just doesn't kind of do much for you for the characters or what's going on. It just feels like, you don't really need to pay a whole lot of money to see it. I'm glad I used my AMC Stubs rewards on this, so I only paid about $5 and change, so it wasn't that big of a thing. So it's decent. If you really need something to go see, if you already see everything else, go ahead, catch a matinee or something. But it's a decent film. A lot of people are just saying it's not a very good film. It's not a good thing. But if you go in there with the expectations set at the right level, where you're not hyping yourself up from the trailer and the level of talent in the film, like kind of just like, oh my god, this could be fucking awesome. It's decent. Go in there with that expectation, you'll have a decent time. So we'll see what comes up in the near future. I like the trailer for Child 44 with Gary Oldman and Tom Hardy, because as Tom Hardy, I'm really kind of gravitating a lot towards him. Might check it out. It comes out in about a month. We'll see if I'd catch it, but absolutely, positively, by no doubt in living hell, Avengers Age of Ultron, you will get a review of that. There's no doubt in my mind I will be seeing that film. So, a little bit of scare stuff in the new release territory in the next month, but you'll definitely get some other stuff coming up with some retrospective reviews that I am working on the Manhunter review. It's a very long process, kind of shooting bits and pieces of it as I go along every couple weeks or whatnot, but it will get done eventually. So it is in production, and while I'm not working on that, I'll be working on other stuff. So we'll see what else comes up in the near future for Forever Cinematic. And if you've seen The Gunman, post your comments below about what you thought about the film. Did you go in it with high expectations and really kind of crash and burn on you, or did you kind of see all the reviews and figure it wasn't going to be that great and you saw it and whatever you thought about it? Post your comments below about it. If you enjoyed the review, thumbs up is very much appreciated, along with sharing the links around. And there's always the Patreon link below if you guys want to see if you can contribute a little something. And if you start contributing stuff, you'll start getting exclusive previews of these reviews and other stuff a little sooner than the rest of the people on the internet. So catch you later. So take care. Bye-bye.